games interesting, right? That's one thing that we don't have to worry about. Games are always going to be interesting. When you're a Chicago Bulls fan, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are missing their top four scorers in the game, are up right now by 1 point. Now, it's been a closer game, but it shouldn't be. That's the thing. And the Bulls have been down for the most part throughout most of this game. And that's a problem as well. When you look at it, the Chicago Bulls have only held the lead for 1 minute and 24 seconds in this game. 1 minute and 24 seconds is how long the Chicago Bulls held a lead in this game. That's unacceptable, right? And we know the Bulls are a team that gets off the slow starts, things like this, but they got to be able to take care of business better than this. Kobe White right now, second leading scorer with 11 points. He's 5 of 9 from the field, but he also has 6 assists already and 3 rebounds, 1 block shot as well from Kobe. Nikola Vucevic is leading the way, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal from Nikola Vucevic. He's actually balling out. DeMar DeRozan has 9 points. Patrick Williams has 5 points. Dalen Terry leading the Chicago Bulls, scoring from the bench with 6 points. No other stat registered. He's 2 for 2 from the field and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Javon Carter's back to shooting off leads, 1 of 5 from 3-point range, 1 of 6 overall from the field. And Ayo Dosunmu's 2 for 4 with 4 points. So the Bulls definitely have some things they need to tighten up in this game. They got to do it ASAP. They have to come out in the second half playing much better than what they've played so far in this game. It's just not going to cut it. They're losing the rebounding battle by 4. That's not going to cut it at all. When you look at the turnovers as well, they got 5 turnovers, but you want to try to limit that where you can as well. Points off turnovers, Chicago Bulls are leading that 9-8. So we got some things we need to do. 28 points in the paint for the Chicago Bulls so far. So that's promising. We only have 3 second chance points though. Right. And that's something you want to look at and highlight. Keep in mind the Chicago Bulls were the second team in the NBA in second chance points here over the last 11 games. So we got to get tight with that. We only have 2 offensive rebounds in the game, so it's hard to get points off that when you're not doing that well, or second chance points when you're not doing that well. So we got to get back to doing the things that make us right. We got to crash the boards. You got to force turnovers. You got to get out in transition, and we have to shoot the ball effectively. Now, it hasn't been terrible shoot night for the Bulls. They're 50% from the field, but only 25% shooting from 3. We've only made 4 out of 16 3-pointers. We got to be a better 3-point shooting team in the second half of this game. The Cleveland Cavaliers aren't shooting the ball terribly well from 3-pointer themselves. They're 8 of 27 for 29%, but it's better than the Bulls, right? And they've made more than the Bulls. So that really right now is accounting for most of the gap between the two teams. So if we rebound the ball, we can get back to winning the rebounding battle, get second chance points, shoot the ball more effectively from 3, we'll win this game. But the Bulls got to come out and execute once the third quarter starts. You cannot come out lackadaisical in the third quarter of this game if you want to beat them. You just can't. And the Bulls got to learn to tighten that up, man. You got to do that, man. It's closer than I like. Completely agree with you. Horseshoe Podcast, completely agree with you, bro. OTR in the building says, I still wish we drafted Imani Bates. Not gonna lie, no, I'm good on Imani Bates. Like Imani Bates is, to me, like he's a player that he's gonna get so good. I would say this: Julian Phillips' ceiling right now is higher than Imani Bates. That's just is what it is. Julian Phillips has a much higher ceiling because of what he can bring defensively, size-wise, rebounding, and he's a solid passer. His ceiling's right now higher than Imani Bates. It doesn't mean that that's going to be the way that it turns out, but right now I'd still much rather have Julian Phillips than Imani Bates from what I've seen. So, but I get what you're saying. That you're not the only person that shares that as well. So, Hokage says, I hate playing teams like this so much, not gonna lie. Absolutely, like that. This is the type of teams that the Chicago Bulls just they wet the bed on, and they gotta get it better than this, man. You can't keep performing like this, bro. You can play so much better than this and just be taking care of business. And let's hope the Chicago Bulls start doing that. Let's see where we're going. They're so long. That's what she said. The Bulls playing down in the comp, and this is disappointing. Gotta love watching the Dalen show some confidence. Yeah, Dalen, listen, this stretch is going to be good for Dalen Terry. The stretch of him playing minutes and being needed, being relied on, this is going to be really good for his development. Ruaha says, once Nang started barking to Dalen, I instantly knew my son had to get a bucket, and once he did, you knew I jumped off the couch. Nang must be stupid talking crazy. Dalen went on after that, too. Let's hope he keeps up that pressure. Let's hope he keeps up that pressure. Chris Carvinio says, solid in to the half, but we got to be better. Yeah, solid in the second quarter. I will give the Bulls the way they played in that towards the end of that second quarter. It seems like they woke up some. They got to get their shit together. All right, now y'all see why Vooch Drummond lineup does not work. Thank God. So people can finally stop asking for the Vooch Drummond lineup. God damn. Like, it's like y'all gotta chill. Bulls just need to clean up on the defensive boards and eliminate the fouling, get Vooch more involved, and continue to push the pace. Great points there from the general Brandon L. Jet. BL Jet also chips in. Io and Kobe are fun to watch in transition. Listen, Io in transition is just a different beast. It's just a different beast. Why? How come they played Vooch and Drum together? I think they were just trying to find a little wrinkle in there because everything was stagnant. But you see why they can't do it. That's just looking bad. That's just not a lot of. Maybe Billy Donovan did it so he can also shut up Bulls fans asking to play Drum and Vooch together because Lord knows. Tony says playing another injured team that's also average, which is mostly who we've beaten during this stretch in the playoffs. This team would get swept. Disagree with you there. We haven't just beat mediocre teams during this stretch. Like what have you been watching? It started off with the win against the Milwaukee Bucks. Are the Milwaukee Bucks a mediocre team? I wouldn't say that. The New Orleans Pelicans, again, a team above 500 and in the Western Conference. Like San Antonio Spurs are terrible. That's a terrible guy. Now, that's a terrible team. The Miami Heat, not a terrible team. The Philadelphia 76ers, not a terrible team. The Los Angeles Lakers, they've been playing terrible as of late. So what are we talking about here? That's most of the wins right there. So, Tony, I listen, you're living in an alternative world right now, and the bald white man universe does not apply to real life, bro. Like this is not Donald Trump's universe, bro. Like, what are we talking about here? The real Don P in the building says, I just came to give you shit about the lineup that every person here comments wanted to happen. You said it would never happen with Vooch and Drummond out there. I said that it wouldn't be good. And I said you don't want to play that lineup. We played it some last year, and it was the same then. The shit sucks. It sucks. Never play that lineup. Well, we got a customer coming in. See y'all at the post game live. See Red, give Kobe the ball. Listen, I at this point, I think Let's Talk Bulls is a male prostitute because it's like he got to be a gigolo. Like that's the only thing. Because keep in mind, every time he talks about a customer coming in, it's like he has to disconnect from the world because the man be having a face full of cat. Like, bro, you got to live the gigolo life behind, bro. We got to get this podcasting thing up for you, bro, so you can do this full time. You shouldn't have to be eating random snatch for a living, bro. That's crazy, Quentin, bro. I'm praying for you, bro. I'm really praying for you, man. Stop giving out them free Yanni steams, my guy. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, what's happening out here? I'll just warm it up for his meeting with his son next game. That's funny. That's funny. I need no, because he's playing the best out. Like, what people just with their narratives. It's just stop smoking cocaine. Also, people was playing like zero energy and hustle out there. He started off with energy and hustle. I don't know what's going on out there. It seems like the team in general is real lethargic right now. We got to get it together. Everyone wanting the Vooch Drummond lineup need to lay off the crack pipes. That's the type of shit you think of when you're high and stupid. That's funny. That's hilarious. Gigolo is a good job. But, I mean, listen, I didn't say it was a bad job. I just said, it is. I mean, I just figured it out. Like, it's cool. Like, I mean, you got a gigolo. You got to listen. You got a jig. You got a jig. Ain't no questions in that one. Why you got to do him dirty? Anything to pay the bills at the moment. Hey, listen, you got to do what you got to do. Hey, he stays booked, so hey, he must be talented at what he does. Shout out to him. What to do, man? Dude leading the team and scoring in the first half. Casuals say trade him. It's so funny. It's so funny. Thought that Kobe dunk might have woken them up some. Listen, we've always been a better second half team. Don't get me wrong. And we get out to slow starts. It's unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. That's one of the reasons why we're one of the best fourth quarter teams in the league is because we get out to these damn deficits and we got to ball our ass off. Now, like I said, this is still it's not like it's out of range for the Bulls to win this game, out of the range of possibility. Like the Bulls are probably still going to win this game. They just got to tighten up, man. They got to execute. You can't keep playing like this. And so let's hope that the Bulls do that, man. Let's hope they do. Reginald Short says better for Let's Talk Bulls to be gigolo than JDH eating random strip. That's funny. That's crazy. That's crazy. Watch the Bulls smoke them in the third quarter and close out in the fourth. And that's what I really hope that's gonna happen. I really hope that's gonna happen. Didn't the Bulls bring the deficit line from 10 to 4 with Drummond Vooch? No. Why don't you do live calls, Haize? Because that's not my skill set. It just isn't. Like it isn't. Like I'm way too passionate of a basketball fan. Like when I'm watching the game, I throw shit around. That's it. I throw shit around. I'm disappointed in the way they're playing. I hope they can get it together. What do you think, Haize? Yeah, definitely. They got more. Listen, we've seen them come back from worse. They're down by 1 point. We've seen them come back from worse. So JDH just bought a whole roll mouthwash from Walmart. Oh, do you think JDH washes his mouth? We all know that doesn't happen. JDH still, JDH he applies the same rule old people apply to cast iron skillets to his mouth. He doesn't clean it. It just adds seasoning in there. Everything's just in there. You got years worth of just seasoning in there from stripper ass. So I mean, the JDH right now is just he's just living his life. JDH's mouth is the cast iron skillet of ass eating. Like it just piles on pop. Whoa, that's a bar. That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, that's wild. That's wild. That's hilarious, man. JDH take a swig of stripper ass sweat. That's unfortunate, bro. That is really unfortunate. Why does Pat the designer not do live calls? You got to talk to Pat about that. They got to talk to Pat about that. Got to talk to you. Got to talk to Pat about that, bro. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Javon Carter, LeBron did off the side of the backboard. Yeah. I mean, listen, Javon Carter, his shooting is just not been what I thought it was going to be. That's crazy, man. Bro says season that he got 4-year-old Larry's in there. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, BLJ, he doesn't anymore. Pat, the designer, stopped the live calls. That's why he's asking. Pat stopped doing live calls for he stopped. He's not doing live calls anymore. What he does now is he'll react to highlights after the game, but he doesn't do live calls anymore. The things we need to do to win are things we can control in the second half. Should be us winning. If it isn't, I'll be interested to see how we respond in the next game. I mean, listen, the Bulls got it. They got to tighten up on this one. They got to tighten in on this one. And I'm just telling you, Tony, we have been a better team without Zach LaVine. Go and look at the teams we were losing to. The Detroit Pistons blew us out. So, like, put that in perspective, too. This team is a much better team without Zach LaVine. Now, I'm not saying that it'll stay that way. I'm not saying that Zach can't come back and fit into what's going on now. But to say that it hasn't been, you're tripping. You're tripping. Pat over here being light-skinned again. Which Pat? You talking about Pat the designer or Patrick Williams? Because I hope he's not acting like that. But all right, y'all, we're going to get back to the game. I'll see you.